In my professional job, I investigated traitors, spies, and high-level organized crime figures. And I have never seen scammers of this type of kind. The worst type of fraudster, however, is the one who takes advantage of people by falsely about having cancer in order to get cash and recognition. Regrettably, in this day and age of social media, there are increasing number of them. Although social media allows knowledge to spread quickly, not everyone utilizes for the best purposes. You agree with me? Melissa Russo, a TikToker, and her scam have already been covered by me, so go in the comment section below and check the link. To deceive thousands of GoFundMe donors, she perpetrated to have cancer. And it appears that this type of scam is still going on. I have the authority to proclaim that it continues. Today we're going to talk about somebody else. Most of you have likely heard about Belle Gibson's story. Australian woman. The reality was exposed after she fabricated her claim of having cancer, getting cured, and making millions. I do remember all my members of family has been diagnosed by cancer. I do remember clearly my father, when he's been diagnosed with the cancer, he was looking for the hope. On those days, there was no GoFundMe, there was no social media. Of course, the scammers are everywhere who want to sell you some type of the cure. However, when you play with the people's emotions online, that means that you physically have no touch with nobody, guilt it's less. And Belle Gibson, she made it millions, claiming she has the cancer and then she getting cured. Welcome to podcast Live the Battlefield. My name is Mario Bekes. I'm the Guinness World Record holder. I spent 1,800 consecutive combat days in war, and as well I spent hundreds and hundreds of hours investigating crime figures, spies, and the list goes on. Today we're going to talk about an Australian lady. Her name is Belle Gibson. Belle Gibson, a blogger and marketer, was formerly regarded as a guru of healthy life and, quite plainly, a natural wonder. The media lapped up Belle claims that she beat cancer by eating only healthy diet, allowing her to make a nice profit. Belle Gibson's story reads like a script for the movie, and I'm pretty sure they're gonna make one very soon. She's a young, attractive woman, is given 4 months to live after being diagnosed with a deadly brain cancer. And guess what? After 2 months of chemotherapy and radiation, she chooses to forego traditional care and take matters into her own hands. Instead, she concentrates on good nutrition and natural therapies. Against all odds, she begins what? To heal. Her unusual approaches appear to be effective. Of course, everybody wants the piece of Belle Gibson. She miraculously falls pregnant with her first child. Now, let us start from the beginning. What is the identity of Belle Gibson? Gibson was born in Tasmania, capital city of Launceston. Gibson's early life, like much of her story, is shrouded in mystery. She grew up on Brisbane's outskirts and claims she never met her father and has to care for her mother. And the mother has MS and her autistic brother since she was a youngster. She saw her story of recovery through healthy eating by establishing a healthy food app and writing a book about her experience and advice, as hundreds of thousands of people follow her on social media. Yes, you follow her. You are that one who fall for the con artist. You say you're not? Let me know in the comment section. Now, let's go talk about her diagnosis. And she was surprised with her diagnosis. Her survival story began in 2009 when she was diagnosed with a cancer at age of 20, and she was told by doctors that she only had 4 months to live, according to her own story. Now, not satisfied with this, which is already absurd, claim she added 2 months of radiation therapy, chemotherapy, and other type of painful procedures to her story. And out of desperation, she previously used alternative therapy practices, which she claims saved her life. Holistic medicine, a balanced diet, vitamins, and oxygen therapy were used in her instance to deliver saving therapy. Now, let me just bring something to you, to your knowledge. I know that we all have the power of our will, that brain will, what brain says is going to do it, body will follow. There's so many alternatives, absolutely. However, we forget one thing, that our bodies consist from 70% of the water. Water, it is carrying all the type of bacteria, viruses, and everything else. Our soft tissues are full of the cells and, all these things. If you're not healthy, you're sick. If you're sick, you need a true therapy. Just by eating good food, it doesn't save your life. That's the fact. What you can do is preventing diseases. That is correct. There's a many series on Netflix, on other social media outlets. Food prevent possible diseases. But what she did, I have 4 months to live. I do 2 months radiotherapy, chemotherapy, and everything else. And I decide to go on social media, creating the app. I'm going to do the book. She planned everything from the number 1 day. Now, she was cancer patient and then suddenly becomes health professional. Her commercial empire began to expand at the moment, and one of its components was the well-known app Whole Pantry, which she promoted to the public as the world's first application to the health and wellness. And you fall for it. The app was a great success and made it its owner a lot of money immediately away. Well, why shouldn't? She cured the cancer. People were moved by her narrative at the time when wellness and the efficiency of the superfoods would become popular beliefs. And then she financially accumulated over 200,000 followers. Financially. That's correct. Making the most of her celebrity, Gibson created the Whole Pantry, a health and wellness app that reportedly received 200,000 downloads in the first month. Gibson's career took off, and her app introduction and Apple named the Whole Pantry and the best food and drink app in 2013. She then agreed to a book deal with the Lantern Books, a part of Penguin Books, and her cookbook, The Whole Pantry, was released in October 2014 and includes recipes to help readers live a well-nourished life, free of dairy, processed sugars, and gluten. One thing the Gibson, the Bella, she forgot. Obviously, she was reading a lot of what's happening on the internet and how the people become happier, healthier, wiser, maybe more abundant. Maybe they're just the midgets, maybe they're just the unicorns. I don't know. But one thing for the con artists is very, very common. That's that they've been educated by the public, by professionals. Go on LinkedIn. There's so many professionals telling every day how to avoid the fraud. A fraudster says so that's how we need to avoid the fraud. Well, let me work around this. So she published a book. Now, you ask yourself, why would somebody as a Penguin Books take her book to be published? Why don't check the recipes? Because it was a trend. And guess what? Money makes everything. Rich book deals followed, and she was later featured by the worldwide media sites where she explained her catastrophic case. And guess what? She received thousands of new Instagram followers every day. She also wrote her own cookbook, which was submitted for publishing in the United Kingdom, and for which she received $70,000. She made so much money that she did purchase it. $1 million coastal home, a BMW X3, and pricey cosmetic operations for herself. Nonetheless, she has kept her fans up to date on what the doctors told her on daily basis. Of course, she needs to do this. There were thousands and thousands of enthusiastic comments on social media, but there were also a lot of skepticism. Given that she only had 4 months to live, how did she manage to save herself with the food in such a short period of time? Ask yourself that question. How is it even possible? Coffee is good. If you like to have a cup, let me know in comment section. You don't cure yourself with the food only. You can't. Imagine if I was during the war, I saw all my colleagues there suffering some type of the diseases or some type of the wounds, and the doctor comes and say like, listen, just have some superfood, you're gonna be good, you're gonna feel well. It doesn't work that way. But she knew it, that she was coming to the end, because it's not just people who have the cancer or who are suffering or try to find a solution for those who love most and they have a cancer. There's a people who want to learn on her case, and that usually are the medical experts. And of course, they try to understand, because the medicine, it's a science, and science has hundreds of thousands of different theses, elaborates, the researchers, analysis. And of course, they start questioning, how did she come in from 4 months given to live with the superfoods to cure the brain cancer? How is it possible that she has no symptoms of such a deadly disease? Symptoms. All of these mysteries remain unanswered until 2015. Then the truth began to emerge. Bella mentioned that she works with 20 humanitarian organizations and that 95% of the proceeds from the application are dedicated to philanthropic causes. When journalists Bo Donnelly and Nick Toscano connected with her, they say they requested more precise information about her health, as well as a list of organizations she had worked with. Well, reporters offered her a 24-hour window to reply or provide explanation after it became clear that she had not donated a single dime to any organization she claimed to support. Aren't you surprised? Ask yourself, in the last 12 months, 24 months, how many times you heard on TV, on social media, celebrities, I'm working for this charity, I'm supporting this charity, I'm supporting this agency, I'm doing this and that. And turns out it is not. Why these people love to say they're helping somebody? Because they're liars. She's the same thing. She literally acted as soon as she received the email. On the same day, she made small contributions to organizations to whom she had pledged support 15 months before. And in subsequent conversation with reporters, she made an effort to attract attention to the flow of money and other connected matters. Now, let me teach you something about journalists. You never heard this from me. My name is Mario Bekes, and I'm the hero you never knew you needed. One thing what I learned while I was working in human intelligence sector, and we utilize quite a lot of journalists. I want you to take these notes down. When the journalist calls you and say, we like to talk to you, and you pretending you don't hear them, you don't know them, you don't want to talk to them, you want to talk to them, doesn't matter what you say. You can say, no comment. You want to comment, you refuse to talk, they're gonna write their own story. Doesn't matter what you say or what you do. The journalists, that's their job. They're living on information. You just give them one word and they're gonna turn this into the great story, because that's their job. That's the reason why they're hired. They are hired. Now, in her case, reporters persisted in seeking, all these facts, including new health information, which she refused to provide. Well, you don't need to provide your health information to journalists, but of course it's a red flag for journalists. With each response, Bella became further entrenched in her own lies. And a day later, the front page of the newspapers where Toscano and Donnelly work featured a large item titled, Mega blogger Belle Gibson doubts her own cancer claims. One of her exam responses in which she stated, perhaps cancer was a wrong diagnosis by German doctors. She's an Aussie. I don't know why Germans. Was also included in the book by the journalists. That day, she deleted multiple posts from social media and the wellness business began to disintegrate. The previous year, the corporation Apple that she worked for brought a case against her and the judge ordered $410,000 fine. She's been sued several times for fraud. Well, of course, Gibson was fined $410,000 by the Australian government in September 2017 for making a false commitment to make a charitable donation. She was found guilty on 5 counts of breaking consumer legislation. She did not appear in civil court for the sessions. Later she did, but she refused at the beginning. You'll think that after being discovered and being punished, the story would end there. How wrong we all are. Nearly 2 years after being directed to do so, Gibson claimed in June 2019 that she was unable to pay the penalties. According to Consumer Affairs Victoria Financial Investigation, Gibson spent more than $91,000 between 2017 and 2019. Her home has since been raided twice in an attempt to retrieve the money she owes in January 2020 and May 2021. Following the regional attack, Gibson merged with the Ethiopian population in Victoria, Melbourne, Ethiopian. Gibson discussed Ethiopian politics, even referring to Ethiopia as her home. Gibson's social media pages are no longer visible on internet, and no new information concerning her whereabouts it's emerged. Everyone has a seriously ill family member or acquaintance. It's rather than a conclusion. So let me begin by expressing that I understand the difficulties we face. However, I must question directly, what type of individual jeopardizes people's lives by offering advice on how to heal the most serious illness? Will the disgraced wellness influencer resurface someplace else, or has she vanished entirely? Because we don't know where she is. Only time will tell. And one thing I can tell you with certainty, through my life experience, she will come back with more to sell. This time, true story of why she did this. And of course, she's gonna get money for that. Thank you for watching Life the Battlefield. Feel free to subscribe, share, like, and comment. And don't fall for scammers. Don't, particularly online. Question everything, trust nothing. Thank you for watching.